Well, I am here to say to you that I don't know the threatening you are. I am homeless in the threatening, and I have to tie my hair up with braids just to get through the threatening because my hair has a bad haircut. It's more than one bad hair day. It's as many bad hair days as it will be for me to get my hair grown out of its bad haircut. And I don't have that much time left. I will not be alive to see my hair grow back to its original state before I cut it myself with the scissors, and it is not even. Itself is not even, so it will not grow back and look like that ever while I'm cutting my own hair. That's if somebody else cuts my hair, and then it would take about 4 haircuts to get it all even again. And that's what's wrong with that. You don't offer to cut my hair when it needs to be cut, and it has been cut when it didn't need to be cut. And it has been offered that I can get my own haircut whenever Joe Ellen says it out loud, which might have been, I don't know, a few times when I was in high school. So I am thirsting right now, and I can't wait. But this is not a full container, even though I just opened it in front of the camera. It's missing that much fill to the top. Debbie Zuckerman. Debbie Zuckerman and Debbie Burke are the same shunt, unless they are twins, like Bill Burke and Bob Burke. So that would be Debbie Burke and Debbie Burke, because she still goes by Debbie. So Debbie Zuckerman and Debbie Burke, and Bill Burke and Bob Burke. So Debbie Zuckerman and Debbie Burke are twins, and Bill Burke and Bob Burke are twins. Well, as far as I know, the Debbie I saw in Tucson, Arizona is the one who knows me from when I was about 4 years old. She was older. She would have been about 8 years old or 7 years old. I didn't remind her of the day of sledding in very high accumulated snow in Wisconsin. We went sledding down a hill somewhere. I don't know where because I was little. So there's a photograph of the sledding day. I didn't have it when I saw Debbie, but I know about it. I've seen it so many times. Where was the photograph? I just know about it because I remember the picture being taken, and I have seen the print. So is she a twin? So one of them was there and one of them wasn't there. What if she's just not holding alive all the way continuously between my age of 4 and my age of 23 when I saw her? Yeah. Well, that's what's wrong with your birthday problem. That's not fair to Debbie being small. She did something illegal to myself that I don't afford, which is she locked me out of a house, which is what Arlene Zuckerman did, the driver of Debbie Zuckerman. That's what Arlene would do. Debbie herself didn't open the door and lock me out of a house at the original greeting when I was about 4 years old. So I don't know Debbie locking me out of a house. I think that's against herself and the size of herself, and that we were friendly because she was little herself at one time. To me, in front of me. But what's wrong with it now is that she did something like lock me out of a house by using a German Shepherd to do that, and that's a police dog. I don't actually know her that way. If she wants me to take the police dog off her hands, she didn't offer it to me because it's not due for me to be near an animal. I had Rocky, the dog of my house. I asked Mom if I could have Rocky in the apartment because I don't know why I said that. I don't want the dog, but I was wondering who was going to look after it. I had been eating with the dog. Yeah, I was cooking in the house. Is it the dog's house? I was cooking in Rocky's house, and I was eating every day for about 15 months. Yes, that's why I asked about the dog, because he was always watching me eat every night. I fed Rocky something, and he ended up in the animal hospital. I cooked Rocky some, like a box that you add water to and heat and eat it. And I don't know what else you add oil into, like olive oil. Oh, excuse me. So you have to add olive oil. And I served a little of the couscous to Rocky, and I ate the couscous. I served myself. I gave Rocky some of it because I was worried that he wasn't eating. Well, Rocky went into a paralysis and he couldn't move out of his dog bed. Yeah, I left him there. That's fine. It's an animal. It's a dog I've known since I was about 9 years old. Yeah, and when I was 22 years old, the dog went into a paralysis. Well, I need the dog because it's memories of my youth before I was old enough to see the same dog, and it had watched me grow up, and it's an animal. It couldn't do anything about how it might have thought that it liked me because it's a 5 pounds weight poodle animal. Well, Dad took Rocky to the animal hospital or somewhere, and Rocky came back good as new, even though he was an old dog. How many of these probiotics can you have in a day? It said 2, right? Dailies. Well, I just had 2. Yeah, but it's a yogurt drink is what I asked for. So can I just have as many as I want because they're little? Help support your gut health. Uh, yogurt drink. It does say that. I want more yogurt drink. I can drink a lot of yogurt at once. Yeah, but it's this probiotic problem. Excuse me. So it has cane sugar. Oh, good. Thank you. There's water in here. Okay. There's milk and water and sugar. I guess that's how you make it a drink. Okay. Contains milk. Yeah. They could use more milk instead of water to make it more like a yogurt drink. Okay, so the cultures, live cultures, L. bulgaric. I'm having trouble reading because the light is like making spots to my vision. So I'm gonna use the camera to read it. Okay. Uh, live cultures, L. bulgaricus, L. lactis, S. thermophilus, live and active probiotic B. lactis, DN173-010 slash CNCM space I hyphen 2494 period. So maybe I should just have maybe two according to the instructions. It doesn't say where it doesn't say how many you can have in a day. Well, supports digestive health. Well, I am homeless right here. I coughed because it's time for me to acknowledge I don't have enough leverage. I can see that the yogurt is this much in the threatening that it did not fill this much. That means I asked somebody for yogurt who couldn't afford to get it for me because you're threatening me that you're not going to jail for me. I know, but I need one person to put everyone in jail in the threatening for himself to himself. I don't need that. I'm deceased already. And he's not going into the jail himself. And that's not due because he needs to know that he's going into jail permanently because he did something malicious. And he's not due to live in the presence of myself, having been another person who did something malicious in front of me and did not go to jail for itself. Well, what is itself? And I can't tell you that because it's pending dismissal from his point of view. As soon as I need something, I will have to ask for what I need from somebody, and everyone will say no except somebody will say yes. As far as I know, everybody will say no. I did say I am deceased. Everybody does say no. That means I cannot have food, clothing, and shelter for the rest of my life because I am myself, God deceased right here. I have to get a job and pay the rent because I don't make my own keys. What are you make keys is illegal. If you make a key, you go straight to jail and turn in the key as evidence. And that's how you get into the jail, even though the key doesn't fit into the jail door locking. If you are in the jail around the jail door locking and you open the door locking for somebody else, you need to go into the jail so that they can they can stay there. They can't be put out of the jail by somebody who puts people out of the jail with bail because you didn't leave the door locking custody of opening the door locking for somebody else. That's you need to go in there yourself, and someone would do that for you or against you. Because the jail. So Mitch Hello, the one who is supplying me with food, he said he has a delivery set for tomorrow between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., but I am going to burn him right here. I may or may not get the delivery, or it may or may not stay here. Is somebody coming here to look for that I'm going to receive a delivery? Are they going to come to the apartment and look for it after it's inside the apartment at any time after the delivery? That's Mitch Hello needing to be in jail because he did something malicious that goes to jail. And I can't tell you what it is, and I can't tell you why, and I can't tell you anything but that he knows he belongs in jail. And that's what's wrong with him. He's not really my self-deceased. He only has one option. He can go to jail, or I'm going to die out of the formed world to put him in jail, and that will end the formed world, and he will not be in jail that way from himself's point of view. But I go into the afterlife, and then I executed the threatening that I deceased everyone out of the formed world. That means I am extracting all of you out of the formed world with myself deceased. And that is because you don't have leverage on homeless and jail and prison, and including prison overseas, which could include Africa, blood prisons. And you don't have prison uniform. You're still wearing clothing with price tags, purchases, receipts, and banking, and also illegal alive shunt appearing in clothing. You don't appear nude, you appear in clothing. So whoever's shunning because that's how they get clothing at all, that's illegal. So I need all of that deceased because you don't have all the threats on all those things while you are still holding my keys away from myself like you know who I am. And you would not do that if you knew who I am. What is mine to myself? What is mine to myself? Everything is mine to myself. What you think is not mine to myself is none of your business. That's you being busy. Are you busy occupying yourself, thinking about something that you think is not myself, doesn't belong to me? Because it's not myself. All I own is the Godhead body. I don't actually own even the clothes that I'm wearing, which is a robe right now. I'm wearing a robe of God, and you think it's purchased from Amazon.com, and that's how I can afford to wear anything at all, or I'd be nude. Or I could be in a hospital or in a prison. I could be in a prison wearing prison clothes that they just give to me. Yeah, but I'm not going to jail for you. That's how we ended up this far along in God. I'm age 48 years old, of an age size of a 3-year-old Godhead. So aging myself from the size of a 3-year-old Godhead all the way until I'm 48 years old and counting the time on your meters. And I am myself deceased here in 80,000 years of time. Because I am Father Time deceased right here. Still not enough for you. Still not sorry that you can take away everything that moves away from myself and you can make it a now for you. You don't like the God inside yourself, and you can always do something wrong when you need to do something at all for God. You just do something wrong really fast. All you have to do is do something wrong really fast. You're going to be put out of alive because I'm disclosing that's your leverage. If you're angry with me in this video, you're just going to do something wrong with yourself really fast. And then the God inside yourself is going to have to respond. Well, he is himself omnipresent. Well, that's going out of alive. I'm putting you out of alive myself because it only takes just this much to do it. Can you take away everything that moves? I take away everything that moves. And when I do, I take it all. You'll never see anything that moves again. That's how you take away everything that moves from myself. You can't. I have to take everything that moves away from you, and then I don't have it anymore. I'm going to decease my Godhead in feminine genitals. And then I'll have another Godhead with no genitals to carry on with this afterlife problem, being that you owe me, that you never hurt me in my life. And I don't need that you hurt yourself if the reason that you hurt yourself is because you just had to do something wrong really fast. And then you feel the presence of God that way. You see that he did something for himself, like after you were done doing something wrong with yourself. And that's how you want to make God move. That will end. You can't do that anymore because I am deceasing the threatening that you are alive in the formed world. I am deceasing your genitals so that you don't do that anymore. Any comments to this video? They are still within your genitals being alive. And when your genitals are deceased out of the door locking and out of the formed world, by myself being deceased out of the door locking and out of the formed world, then we can revisit your comments if you still want to. That will be when I'm in a Godhead with no genitals at all.